Today, let's pay homage to the mead that started this channel, Viking Blood. That's right, we're making a new version of Viking Blood with all the stuff that we've learned, new tips, new tricks. Stay tuned to the end because there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing to this. But to start off with, we have to pour some honey.
We're using our new favorite fermenter, which is the 1.5 US gallon fermenter.
Yeah.
It is glass. It is like a TARDIS kind of scenario where it feels like it's bigger on the inside due to its shape.
They fit in the same space as a regular 1 gallon fermenter.
It's graduated, so it has indication markings in both metric and
US customary. We don't use imperial. Somebody got mad at me because I said imperial.
Sure.
We don't use imperial and we don't use American. It's US customary, which is based on the imperial system, but it's not exactly the same.
Nope.
Yes, I hate this crap as much as you guys do.
But
Just
we're not
saying.
in charge of it.
Yeah, we're not in charge, so we can only do what we can do. So I'm gonna use 3 pounds of honey. This is Kirkland's wildflower honey. And before anybody goes crazy on me, this is real honey, okay? This is not corn syrup or anything like that.
It's real honey.
Yeah, it's real honey. It's inexpensive, which makes it great, especially since we're gonna be adding so much flavor to this that the honey you use almost doesn't matter in this, but I wouldn't use something super strong or super exotic and expensive. 3 pounds. We're gonna add 96 ounces of water. Why 96 ounces?
Well, because the volume of the honey that we've added
Is roughly 32 to 33 ounces because each pound of honey is about 11 fluid ounces.
and we're trying to make a full gallon of brew.
Right, and this is warm water so that it'll dissolve that honey. By the way, everything that we're using here, all the gear has been sanitized in
The red bucket of sanitization!
which is literally a bucket off to the side that is filled with water and star sand solution mixed to the manufacturer's suggestion. Can you do it other ways? Sure, but you're taking a risk. We like to use star sand. We've never had a problem as a result. And I'm adding all the water in at once. But now I gotta mix it. To do that, I'm gonna use the spattle. It's a spoon, it's a paddle, it's both. You can get yours in the description below. And yes, I named it. I'm very proud of that. How many things do you have your name on that are sold on Amazon? I mean, you know, let's be honest here. I'm not trying to brag, but I mean, that's something to be proud of. I think it's cool that my name is...
We get excited about little things like this.
Yeah, I mean, you know, take joy where you can get it.
That's right.
That's what Derek always says.
That is right.
And you want to mix this up. Now, if you don't mix it, it's okay. It'll still ferment. You just won't have an accurate starting gravity, so your numbers might be a little wonky to try to play around with. It's not the end of the world. It's just you can't be as accurate as we might want to try to be. Though, I'm going to be honest with you. Home brewing the accuracy is a little suspect, no matter how you do it. If you're within 1 or 2 points ABV, you're good.
Now, as you can tell by how sloppy Brian is being in his stirring, oxygen at this point is good. And why is that, Brian?
Because in the beginning phases, it's called the lag phase of the colony building, when you add yeast, it needs oxygen in order to build the colony and reproduce, bud, in other words. So at this point, oxygen is a good thing. And that's why we have so much headspace. And why is it okay to have that much headspace in primary fermentation, Derica?
Because once fermentation starts up after we add the yeast, it is going to start replicating itself, creating that colony, and then it's going to get to work converting the fermentable sugars that are in our must into alcohol and CO2. And in the process, they make a big giant mess. There's going to be foam, there's going to be bubbles, there's going to be all this stuff going on in there. And if you have headspace, then it'll maintain and contain that stuff in your vessel rather than blowing out your airlock.
You paid for it. Why should it be all over your kitchen table?
Now, once fermentation is complete and the alcohol is present, headspace is not your friend.
After you rack it, yeah,
and
after
we'll
the first
get to that
racking.
later.
Yeah, that'll happen. That's why I said you got to watch the whole thing. Because right now it's just honey and water.
Not very exciting.
It doesn't look like Viking's blood to me. Now, the next step is adding yeast. And we're going to talk about this before we actually do it. We put a lot of thought into what yeast to use. And some of that thought was, do we buy something new or do we use what we have? We have probably 50 or 60 packets of yeast sitting in the refrigerator on the other side of the studio. And I was like, I don't really want to buy something new for this. I want to try to use what we have, because the whole idea behind this, and I say this is what started our channel, I'm not even kidding. Viking Blood put us on the map. Without the original Viking Blood video, me with the big beard and the long hair and everything, this channel would not be what it is today. I will be totally honest with you. We had almost given up. That's the story. We had just about given up when Viking Blood got picked up by the algorithm, took off, and helped to pave the way for what we've made today. And I want to thank all of you who are watching still, or started watching recently, or watched at some point and stopped watching. It's all good because you've helped us to do this thing and make a living doing it and making people happy and, you know, teaching people how to do something that's been a lost art for a long, long time. So thank you. But I lost track of what I was actually trying to say.
We're getting back to the yeast.
Right, the yeast. We looked at the yeast we have, and the original we used K1V116. Now, I've not had great luck. There's another one in there. It's K1V1116. Yeah, the names, I don't know. I've not had tremendously great luck with that yeast. That was one of the first times I'd ever used it, and since then we've not had great luck.
But have we used it in our new studio? We don't know.
Exactly.
And guess what?
We didn't have
not in our fridge where we keep all of our yeast.
And then 71B was always our go-to, and it's a good for fruity meads, and it might be a great choice in this particular mead. But a recent test,
yes, has
showed,
made it think,
I don't know.
The right choice.
So we started looking at what else do we have, and in that same test, one of the best ones was Red Star Premier Classique. Now I've used this. We've used this in many brews over the years. Never really thought much of it.
Because it
Never
just
thought
did
about
its
it.
job.
It always just
It was
worked.
just great.
It didn't stand out, but it didn't lag behind. And when I looked it up, it's actually pretty good for bringing out fruity flavors in a dry mead. Now, this is not going to be dry. I'll just be totally honest with you. So, you know, we're breaking the rules. It's what we do. Breaking the rules. Because the yeast can't read. They don't know what it's supposed to be. But we're going to use Red Star Premier Classique. Now, this is good to about 15% ABV. That's the alcohol tolerance on it. This brew, the way we're doing it, should go about 13 right now, but it's going to end up more than that. So let me get this out of here. Oh, before I add the yeast, let me do something.
Gravity
Yeah, let's take a gravity reading. Now, a gravity reading, we use a hydrometer. We use a hydrometer and sometimes a graduated cylinder and a baster, but because the way this hydrometer is made, which we helped design, by the way, with North Mountain Supply, you can get your own in the description below, it should be able to float in here because this should be high enough.
Yeah.
Should be like a 1.105-ish.
Got a little foam.
Yeah.
Don't fear the foam. It's just annoying. That's all.
By the way, when we talk about items that you can buy in the description below, we're talking about Amazon affiliate links. We are Amazon affiliates. We do get a small commission if you use our links to buy or purchase those items.
At no additional cost to you.
Exactly. But those little things do help to keep this channel alive and keep us doing this for you. So let me get rid of some of those bubbles and not smash the side with the hydrometer. That would be bad at this point. There's too much foam.
You had a nice little
Don't
pocket.
fear the foam, but you can hate the foam.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I give you permission to hate the foam. 1.106. That's about as dead on as you can expect to get. And that's what comes from some of the things that we did. We measured the water. We measured the honey. You can just throw a bunch of stuff in a jar and hope it works, but by measuring and knowing what to expect, you get better results.
And homebrew, a little bit of knowledge goes a long way.
Yeah. I'm also going to be putting in a red tilt because it's thematic. Now, the tilt is really just there for me to be able to sit at my desk and look over at my iPad and go, oh, that's not quite ready yet. That's really why it's there.
We're still going to be using our graduated cylinder and hydrometer for further gravity reading tests, so you don't need a tilt in order to make this recipe.
Okay, now at this point, it's time to add that yeast that we talked about. And I'm using half a packet because my rule of thumb is this. Oop, wait.
Back your packet.
Yeah. There's yeasty beasties in there, and every yeast is sacred. You paid for it. Make sure you get your money's worth. My rule of thumb for yeast is this. If you're making 3 gallons or less, use half a packet. If you're making 3 gallons or more, use a full packet. If you're making exactly 3 gallons, use whatever you want because either one is probably going to work.
I can't get this lid on. I don't know what my problem is.
It's just a lid. You screw it on.
I know.
It's okay. Now, I'm going to be taking some notes. I didn't write anything down here, but to summarize, we have 3 pounds of honey. We have 96 ounces of warm water. We have half a packet of Red Star Premier Classique yeast. Now, I know what you're thinking. Guys, there's no cherry. There's no Viking Blood.
You are right.
Keep watching. It's coming. Okay, it's been just slightly over 4 weeks. This has been a really slow fermentation. Premier Classique is usually pretty good.
Yeah.
But we're starting to think maybe there's something with our water. Well, I don't know yet. We have a test that we're going to be starting on that, and I really cranked this sucker on. There we go. Got it. Okay. The tilt, we're going to take that out of there. You have sanitized hands, right? So we're going to use the tilt for other things since this is getting close.
We got plans.
And I'm going to take a reading on this. Now, it's not clear, which means it may not be done yet. But the tilt was saying that it was pretty close, so I just wanted to see.
And as you can tell, we have so much more to add to this.
Yeah, right now, this is just a straight traditional mead. This ain't Viking Blood in any way.
Nope.
Looks like 1.010 to me, which means this is somewhere in the roughly 12.5%, 13% range. First thing we want to do is not put the sample back in there yet. We want to get out a bucket.
It's foamy because it just got sanitized.
And normally you would move to a smaller vessel when you're racking, but in this case, we're moving to a larger one for reasons that will soon become obvious.
Also, why be normal?
Yeah, exactly. Best practices, that's why. First thing I want to do is take our sample and put it into the bucket very carefully so as to not oxygenate the sample. And then we're going to turn this into berry cherry, very quickly.
What am I doing? And by that,
a pound of cherries, 2 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds.
He put 2 over here in case you were wondering.
Yeah, that's right. I just saved a trip. 6 pounds of dark sweet cherries, frozen. And why are they still frozen?
Because we didn't get them out.
And here's the thing. We're learning that by leaving them frozen, all the juice sticks to the sides of the container, so you don't have to worry about it. See, there's no loss. It's a wonderful thing.
We've also learned that if you're going to be adding a solid, such as whole fruit, to a brew, at the same time that you're going to rack it to a different vessel, put those solids in first and you'll have less of a splash.
Yeah. I always did it just for the show, but, it's important. And they are filling that bucket rather quickly.
Now, these happen to be pitted dark sweet cherries.
That means they don't have pits. I love this. The ingredients, cherries. Doesn't get much simpler than that.
And now, because we're racking, our destination has to be lower than our source, which means this bucket of frozen stuff gets to go on the cold sensitive girl's lap.
You know what? I got to show them this bucket of cold stuff. Yep. That's a big old bucket of cold stuff. Those are huge cherries.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. But yeah, we're going to rack right onto that. I'm going to leave the cap on because I don't want all that sediment that's in there. The idea is fermentation is done as far as I'm concerned. We're not going to let it go anymore. And we have ways of making it stop. So don't worry about that. So I'm just going to get the racking process going using an auto siphon as we always do. Source higher than the destination. Goes through the tube. Couple good strokes of the thing and it gets going and all good. So we could stop right here, let this sit for 2 to 3 weeks, and it would be a very nice cherry mead, also known as Viking's Blood.
But we're not gonna. First off, we're going to add something that may help extract some of that juicy yumminess of the cherries, but more importantly, may help us have a clearer beverage in the final outcome, and that is
pectic enzyme. I'm going to add a teaspoon because it says a half teaspoon before fermentation per gallon. And I know that after fermentation, you need more. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. Helps it clear. So we have a full teaspoon.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, we ain't done yet. Because here's the thing. It's like 13%. That's pretty cool. It's okay. But you know what? There is a beverage that we got that we tasted on the tasting room that I just thought was so awesome that we had to add it to this. It's kind of a joke thing that we're doing at this point. But it's not, because it's really happening.
And if you think about it, one of the more popular commercially made meads
Yeah, Dansk Mead.
is Dansk Mead, and they fortify their meads. That
So-
way, they don't have to worry about having a stable brew because the fortification process makes it stable.
So we're going to add Dr. McGillicuddy's cherry liqueur. Now, this is only 15%, which means it's not really going to fortify it a lot, but it'll help a little bit. It might kill off, well, not kill off, it might stop the yeast from fermenting more. But even if the yeast do ferment, we're not worried about it. We got ways of dealing with that. It's okay.
And it's certainly going to add more cherry flavor to our cherry brew.
Oh, it just smells so good. It's like cherry juice. Now, the question is, how much do I add? The whole bottle.
Of course.
And for those of you freaking out right now because this isn't mead anymore, yeah, it is. It's a full gallon of mead plus a 750 ml bottle of liqueur. It's mead. And like I said, if you don't want to do this step, don't. It's your mead. Have it your way. I won't be offended. But we're still not done. As the cherry on top,
Isn't a cherry at all.
nope, it's going to be a big boy cinnamon stick that I'm going to break into a few pieces. 4 seems to be the appropriate number. 5 would be right out. Now, I do need something to poke that stuff down in there. Oh, you know what? I got this. I'll just,
Oh, your teaspoon.
yeah. I just want to get the cinnamon sticks totally wet so that they might sink. They never really do. Well, actually, they do sink a lot of the time, don't they?
It's fine. They're going to absorb the liquid and do it on their own. You don't even have to do that.
Now,
Brian just likes poking things.
I do. Now, every few days, or every day, probably, I'm going to give this a little bit of a swirl. If I have to take the lid off to do it, I will.
Speaking of lids, let's put one on, shall we?
Yes! Oh, I didn't mix this at all. Do we have a spattle?
Why do you need to mix it?
Because we just added a liquid to it. We have stuff to mix.
All right.
To mix it, we have the spattle. It's a spoon, it's a paddle, it's both. Get yours in the description below. And wow, that's a lot of cherries. We actually had the pectic enzyme to mix in too, so
Oh, true.
it's good to mix. You know, you can do it without. We probably could have left this and it would eventually blend together, but why not mix it? Takes a few seconds, you know. It lets more of the aromas waft into the air too, because wow, I really smell this now. It's already red, just from the McGillicuddy's and the cherries. But as those cherries defrost, they're going to add a lot more color to this too. Oh, you know what I need?
Where do you want your grommet?
Right there,
All right.
right next to Wallace. So I need the Haas to seal the deal here. You've seen me do this before. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, this is the Haas. It's the hammer of superior sealing. And whenever you have a lid like this, a good beating seals it up a little bit better. The beatings will continue until the seal improves.
It was in my head. Get out of my head!
I think we've said that before. All right. So
What are we going to do now?
I'm going to put some notes on this because we added a lot of stuff. All right. Got my notes. Got our brew.
Didn't dry there. It doesn't matter where I dry.
All right. I'm putting it here. That's fine. Now, generally speaking, when you put it on fruit like this, you want to wait 2 to 3 weeks. Because this was frozen, it's going to take a day, maybe a day and a half to fully thaw and come to room temperature. We're going to go the full 3 weeks. So we'll see you then. All right, so it has been 3 weeks since we added a cinnamon stick, 750 ml of McGillicuddy's cherry liqueur, and pectic enzyme, as well as 6 pounds of cherries. So this should be cherry upon cherry with cherry and honey. You know, the Haas really does a good job. It's on there good. All right. Oh boy. It's full right to the top too, almost. All right, can you take that,
You can
please?
put that in the sink, actually.
Sure. So here is the view inside. It looks amazing. That is a seriously dark red color. The cherries really gave off a lot of color here. But I don't see any mold. I don't see any eyeballs. There's nothing off. There's no teeth. There's no fingers. You know, nothing like that sticking out, so it's all good. I make that joke, but really what we're looking for is mold. That is the biggest thing. Whoo! Smells like cherry. Okay, so we're gonna rack this. Normally we would go to a pitcher, but this is a 2-gallon bucket and it's very full. So we're going to a 1.5 gallon.
If you notice the foam, that means that all these things have been sanitized in a properly diluted star sand solution.
And I am going to use an auto siphon with the rumble jar. If you don't have a rumble jar, a hop spider works really well too. This is just a micro perforated mesh so that a lot of the gross leaves or larger pieces won't get through. Microscopic leaves is still going to come through, so I want to be careful with this. But put this in here and then just go a little bit into the liquid and then start our siphon. Look at that color.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow. Love it when plan comes together. Now, the idea behind this is it should be sweetened already because the McGillicuddy stuff is pretty sweet and the cherries will add a lot of cherry flavor. So I'm hoping that between all those things, this is like good to go. So we're gonna do some adjustment tasting. Normally we do that in the pitcher, but there was more than a gallon, I'm pretty sure, and I did not want to waste this one. Now, someone always asks, what are we gonna do with the fruit and things that are in the bottom here? They're gonna get composted.
I'm going to eat one. It's going to be gross because all the sugars have been fermented and turned into alcohol, so it's just a husk of what it once was.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
I was going to do one just to take one for the team, but based on that response, I'm not going to.
For a moment, if you will, indulge me and gaze into the void that is our beverage.
That is blood-like.
This is super dark.
Yeah. We've also come to a conclusion. We did so many things to this. I think it's done. I don't think we're going to make any adjustments to it. I think it's going to be great just the way it is. Now, this is unusual for us. We usually will taste it and make adjustments. In this case, I don't think I want to.
Also, with the racking with the rumble jar, it's saw
beautiful.
it through the hose. It was clear all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So we don't have to let this sit.
Right. There's no reason to wait.
It's good to go.
So we're going to do the tasting now.
All right. Even though it is good to go, we are still going to let it sit before we bottle it.
Oh, yeah.
because
This will sit for
we
months.
have so much stuff to bottle.
Now, right off the bat, this is that deep, deep cherry red,
It's
beautiful color.
Blood. I would say this is the closest to a blood color.
Yeah,
that
it
we've
really
gotten.
is when you really get to it. Yeah, it really is. All right, I'm going in for a smell. Smells unusual.
It does smell unusual.
Almost has a beer-like quality to it.
Now, when we put the cinnamon in there with it and then let it stay for an extended remix amount of time, I had some
done that before.
concerns.
We've done that before.
Brian's all about the spice, so.
Now, I'm fairly certain that some of the cherries that we put in probably might have fermented a little bit, so this might be totally dry.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, though, because we added the McGillicuddy's cherry liqueur, which is only like a 15 or 16%, so it may not have, it's hard to say, really.
It smells more wine-like than I was anticipating it to be, like almost a super sweet cordial kind of aroma, but that's not what I'm getting. I'm getting more of a dark red wine.
It has a strange smell.
It almost smells pre-aged.
Yeah. Right now, I'm not loving the smell. All right. You ready to go in?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
It tastes a lot like a wine.
It tastes very much like a red wine. I'm not hating this at all.
I'm not hating this at all. But I'm not getting.
It's not as much cherry as I thought.
I'm not getting cherry. I think it did ferment more. But
Yeah, this is dry.
It's not sweet.
Should we do a check? Yeah, let's just do a check.
Now we got to do the check.
Yeah.
I don't really know how helpful this particular reading is going to be.
Yeah, the reading itself is more to find out, like, did it ferment more? Because if it's higher than 1.010, then we don't know.
The McGillicuddy is going to...
It's 15% alcohol with a lot of sweetness in it. So I don't know. It's possible the McGillicuddy's fermented. That is a possibility.
That it got diluted enough
Yeah.
the sugars in the McGillicuddy.
Well, you think of it as fortifying, but it's only 15%.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It totally fermented.
Oh, geez.
So that's very interesting. And I'm not hating that. 1.000, like on the nose.
That's crazy.
So worst case scenario, like the lowest ABV this could be is, let me use the calculator teacher said I'd never have handy. Well, are we drinking this or are we putting the sample?
I was just putting that on there
Okay.
because you were talking.
Okay. We started at 1.106 minus 1.000. That's like 13.9%. So this is like 14%. That makes sense because if we added the McGillicuddy's and it's like 15%, it diluted down enough with it that it would ferment a little bit more. Now, does that bother me? I have to admit, I'm mildly disappointed. But I also like dry red wine. And if you remember...
Oh, you're just going to drink it?
We're going to drink some of it. If you remember from back in the day, our original Viking Blood was bone dry. It was not a sweet brew at all. This actually is closer in homage to that than any of the others that we've made.
This is really interesting to me. It's not at all the end point that we were anticipating.
Nope.
But sometimes that's a cool thing with home brewing because as long as you allow yourself to be flexible and enjoy the process and enjoy the road less taken or whatever.
Road less taken.
Road.
Now, I want to point something out. The smell seemed odd to me before. Now that I've tasted it, it smells right. Mm-hmm. It smells like a really nice, deep, dark red wine.
When I first
very heavy body.
Tasted it, I felt like it was kind of missing something. But the more that I'm drinking it, it's like it's revealing itself to me. I'm getting more of the nuances that I didn't get initially.
Mm-hmm. There is a sweetness there too. I still get a little bit of sweetness,
I'm getting
even
more
though
cherry
it's
now.
dry.
I'm getting the drying tannic because when it first goes in my mouth, I feel like it's kind of watery, but the end is definitely not watery. Yeah. It definitely has that.
This is actually really nice.
Yeah.
I would cook with this. I would drink this with food. Mm-hmm. This is very nice.
Yeah. The only thing that's disappointing to me is that if I handed this to me and I didn't know anything about it, which
you
would
just
be
think it was like a Cabernet Sauvignon or something.
Trick, I just say that it's a nice red wine. I would not say this is a mead.
Yeah, it doesn't actually come across as mead. I will say that. The mead got obfuscated.
Like 0 honey profile.
It also went totally dry.
Yeah.
If we were to sweeten this and pasteurize it, which you can do if you want to at this point, I was thinking about it. Like in my head the whole time we were doing the tasting, I was like, oh, do I want to? No, I don't. I think I want to leave it as it is. I think I like it. This makes a nice table wine.
Yeah. We're always looking for a wine to pair with meals. Mm-hmm. And the reason why we're always looking for it is because somebody, that'd be me, tends to drink them all right away because I love pairing wine with meals. Well, this would be another fine example to pair with meals.
Tasting notes that I get the cherry. Comes across as a cherry note, like 3/4 of the palate. I get the cinnamon. That's where some of the tannins are coming from, also from the cherry skins. But there's a spicy aspect that I get in the smell as well. The alcohol taste is almost non-existent. Like I don't really taste the alcohol at all, but there's that little bit of a tang of ethanol towards the end.
But it has a sensation that it's a wine.
Oh yeah.
So you don't go, oh, this is just some interesting fruit juice. You know it's.
I mean, it's like 14%, probably
beverage.
More. It's in that range. So I'm going to call this one 14%. It could be higher, but it's fine. That's on the higher range of what we usually do.
The math on this is super timey-wimey because we got pre-fermentation and then fortification and then after fermentation.
Yeah. So who knows?
And we don't know what fermentable sugars were in the cherries and the McGillicuddy's that...
Yeah. Just not going to worry about it. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
It's around 14%. And if you offer this to someone and you say, well, I don't know exactly, but it's around 14%, and they scoff at that, don't give them anymore.
That's right.
They don't deserve it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But we need to put a score on this now.
Okay.
Now, I am scoring this for what it is, not for what my preconceived idea was.
Okay.
Because my preconceived idea was I actually wanted a very cherry mead that was a little on the sweet side. That was what I really wanted.
This is not that.
This is not that at all. This is a cherry mead that came out more like a really deep, dark wine.
Yeah.
With a lot of heavy notes to it. There's a lot going on. It's very
Color
complex.
alone is an 11, but I'm not giving it an 11.
Yeah. So right now on your screen, you should be seeing our scorecard, which goes from 1 through 11, because that's right, ours goes to 11. What you're not seeing is the 0 for those things that absolutely suck. We had one recently, too. Anyway, I don't have a prediction for this one, because I have no idea where she's going to go with it. So...
Luckily, I do.
Okay. Wow. I'm torn between two numbers. Feeling like a fool.
Sorry, babe.
It's an old song, not numbers, but anyway. All right, I know where to go with it. I know where to go. Are you ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 8.5. Yep. I figured she might be either much higher than me or much lower than me. To me, this is well into the great category.
Yeah.
The things keeping it down are not a lot of honey character.
Not a lot of honey character.
But for what it is, the flavor that it has, if someone just handed me a glass and said, what do you think of this?
I'd say that's nice.
That's really good.
Thank you. May I have
That's
some more,
really
please?
nice. Yeah, absolutely. So this is worth making. I think added to the stable of all of the Viking Bloods that we've made, this is a worthy competitor, though. I think this pays homage to the original in such a way that it's really unique and different, because this is better than the original one we made, by far. I think this is way better.
Oh, sure.
That was a tart cherry mead that just... I never was a huge fan of it. It is the video that put us on the map, and to this day is probably still one of our most famous brews. But I think this is actually a little bit better. This is a better quality.
Yep.
Without a doubt. Not even I think. I know this is better than that. But anyway, as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.